It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.
Welcome to In the Arena, where purpose meets action. I'm Rick Fatscher, joined by my co-host Pat O'Rourke. And this episode, as always, is proudly brought to you by LifeVac, the simple, non-invasive device that's helped save thousands of lives worldwide. Today, we're joined by two men who are making a real difference where it counts. Zachary Layden of Ocean View Stables, using horsemanship to heal, teach, and restore. And we're joined in studio by Michael Fay of the With Purpose Foundation, proving that service and leadership can still change communities for the better. These aren't stories from the sidelines, people. These are people in the arena. So let's get after it. Good evening, Patrick.
Hello, Rick Slick. How was your Christmas and New Year's?
Fantastic.
And holidays?
I miss seeing you in the arena.
Every Thursday. That's right.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a 2-week break.
Well, we're on radio stations all over the country, right? Where are we?
We're going to soon be back in California, Texas, Orlando, Allentown, PA. But for the time being, it's WOR 710.
We're huge in Allentown.
Yeah. Big in Allentown. Yes. And we're joined by Michael Fay. Michael, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. It's been a little while, but it's great to see you again. And nice to meet you, Patrick.
Of course, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Mike and I used to push drugs together.
Well, they were drug salesmen. Yeah. You can't say it like that. You weren't on a corner. Well, even that sounds bad. You worked for Lilly, didn't you? Or you weren't on a corner.
Shearing plow. God.
Yes.
Yeah. That dates me. That makes me feel old.
It's amazing.
It's a long time ago.
Is that still a company?
No, it's not.
They get bought up by someone else?
Shearing plow got bought by Merck for a cool $41 billion.
Big pharma.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
I always wonder in how that negotiation, they tried to get 45. No, we'll give you 41.
Do you think two guys leave the room and they're just giggling in the back like they're going to give us billions? Hold on. Let's decide this.
Yeah. Shearing plow wasn't that small a company, but I still remember Merck being a behemoth, much bigger company at the time. Shearing was probably in the top 12, maybe.
Yeah. It's a conversation for another show, but how's the government not stepped in and said this is antitrust, how these drug companies buy up all the small ones and just they're monopolies?
Yeah. And mostly they're buying up biotech. You know this, Mike. They're buying up biotech's real small cutting edge stuff.
Right.
And a lot of these companies exist to get bought out. So it's
if you got a great idea,
the
it's still
government,
a great country.
You want the government to get involved with something.
I know
more?
we've had shows on that. Don't patent anything. That's for sure.
Yeah. But we're going to be joined by Zachary Layden from Ocean View Stables, and he joins us now from the coast, from San Francisco. There he is.
Hi, how are you doing?
Welcome. We usually hear a round of applause, and there it is.
Popcorn in the business.
Hey, Zach.
Zachary Layden, first and foremost, thank you for your service. I don't know how much you want to talk about your time in the military, but we definitely always honor our veterans.
I mean, it's a big part of what I do with the horses in my arena. We veterans ride for free at our facility. Horses helped me when I came back from Afghanistan get present and kind of heal from my PTSD, and we do that for others. There's a lot to it. We help the community, help inner city youth, help military veterans, and just allow the community to ride horses and learn horsemanship.
Yeah. When did you make that connection? After you got back, or was this something you thought about doing before you served?
Well, before I served, I rode horses. It was coming back. There was an opportunity to help work some horses. And prior to that, I was stuck in my head thinking about the past. I wasn't able to really be in the present, was not very happy. And someone let me help them with his horses. And in that moment, when you're working with horses, you have to be very present. You can't go in there with your mind on something else because you can't really help the horse in that case. So working with the horses made me come back to the person I was before I ever joined. People saw the change in me. I was happier. I had the kiddish charm that I had before I joined and wasn't a bitter man. And I ended up just dropping everything and jumping in with both feet and spend my whole life and still spending my life working with horses.
Yeah. And I believe your wife is involved too?
Yeah. So my wife is in her own right an absolute professional. She's amazing at this stuff. And she runs the show. I shoot from the hip, and I kind of made this business run, and then she came in and turned it into a true business. So.
Yeah. When did Ocean View Stables originate?
Yeah, well, the property that we purchased has been there for over 100 years, but we bought this place a little over 2 years ago and have been revamping it and turning it to what it is. It's my 4th horse facility. So we buy underutilized horse facilities and turn them into gems, and then move on to the next one.
And I would imagine the reward that you get from serving other veterans. But talk about some of the other populations that you have to the ranch.
Populations, because
Groups.
I mean, we have we have veterans that come out, inner city youth. Then there's, of course, just the general public that can come out and ride. We do a horsemanship academy, and we teach horsemanship, from the ground level all the way to competition ready. We also do leadership through horsemanship. So we do corporate events and teach people, how if I can move a 1,200-pound animal through subtle cues, then your body language means a whole lot. And so if you can take that and take the pressure and release the pressure and put that into the corporate settings, it would probably make you a better leader. And we can kind of showcase how that works. And then we have trail rides down to the beach and other experiences there as well.
Yeah, we had a horsewoman on a couple of weeks ago from Riverhead.
Yeah, Warrior Ranch.
Work
we
with
were
the
trying
veterans
to
too,
connect
yeah.
you guys. Yeah.
It's amazing. So I learned so much about the horses. Horses can read they feel your vibe, and if you're not relaxed, they won't relax. Right? That's what she was? Mind readers. I was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, if I may, and Zach, I think I'm going to have to come visit you, because it tells me of a time, the first and only time I was on a horse, it just started running too fast right towards the branch, and off I went.
Yeah.
So,
but even she said with the veterans, it's like it's soothing to them. They sort of pick the veteran. The veteran doesn't really pick the horse. It's like they match up who's their type of personality. Remember she was talking about that?
She was saying
I was fascinated by
but she prefers horses to humans.
Yes.
A lot of cases.
It's a true therapy. And so going to them, choosing you, what they are is a reflection of you, right? So horses are very honest, and they will, if you come in there and you have some bottled up anger or issues, your horse is going to show you that. So.
That's me. That would be me.
And then we work through it.
Yep. I've only ridden a horse once. It was down in Dallas, Texas.
that's where mine was.
Years ago.
I remember that the people that were instructing when I'd go for a horse, we did it in Colorado and done it, of course, locally. But I remember them saying that, horses know when they have an idiot on board.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what he's doing, or,
they know when you know, and they know when you don't.
They do.
Well, they were all winking at each other when I got on. And one was trying to smoke with his hoof. Like, who is this guy? What an idiot. But how many horses you have at this facility?
Yeah, we have 25 horses there.
Oh, that's big. She only had like 5 or 6, right, Rick?
Yeah.
25.
Much smaller operation. For veterans who might be listening right now and may be skeptical about equine therapy, what could you tell them to ease their mind?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what we hear a lot of when it comes to veterans, these macho men who are like, I don't want to ride that horse. It's the craziest thing, because usually they're too macho to tell us their fears, but they seem to be afraid of these 1,200-pound beasts.
Yeah, it's a big animal. Yeah, I don't know.
But they're not scary. It comes down to they're prey animals. They don't want to do wrong. They're constantly looking for what the right answer is. And so it's an opportunity for you to be present and to calm yourself so that you can watch a 1,200-pound beast turn into a gentle giant and, follow you around and be one with you. The kind of connection you can get with a horse is pretty unworldly. There's the only thing I can really put it to words for is, have you watched Avatar, where they connect with their flying animals? And that connection is how I feel when I'm riding the horses. You're just one with them. So,
yeah, really, really incredible work that you're doing. And would it be a one-time occurrence that a veteran would come and visit you, or is it a program where they're coming back?
Yeah, so veterans ride for free every single time, always. And so I have veterans that come all the time. We are doing a lot of things in the veteran community, getting as involved as much as we can. And we're at the final stages of getting a full therapy, horse-assisted therapy program up and running. As of now, it is therapy, but they just get to come for free, and we just eat the cost of that. And we have dozens of veterans that make this their second.
Yeah, talking about eating costs, it makes me concerned from a small company. How do you get funded? How can people get involved by sponsoring days or sponsoring visits?
You can come and be a
Oh, look at
rider.
that.
You can ride horses. You can come and enjoy the experience as a non-veteran, and you'll pay for your experience. And then in return, veterans ride for free. So the only way to sponsor the opportunity is to come out and ride.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Do you live right on the property, or how's that work?
Yeah, so for the last couple of years, we fixed the house up to be a bunkhouse for some employees. And actually just recently, my wife allowed me to convince her to remodel the house so that we can move on to property. So we're in the middle of doing that this month.
Nice. Got kids yet?
We have a 3-year-old daughter who has her own miniature horse. So
she loves horses. That's when the wife finally
She has
broke
a,
down. All right,
she
might
has
as
a
well live.
miniature horse. That's awesome.
yeah, she rides it better than most people. So
Yeah. Hey, this is a non sequitur, but do you have a LifeVac at home?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Nice.
We got one for our daughter. So it was
Prior to knowing you were coming on, you had it already?
I already had it. Yeah. When you first called me, I was like, actually, we have it. It's so great to buy something that you never get to use.
Yes, that's and we
That's
say
our motto.
If
Peace of
we
mind.
don't say we hope you never use it. Well, that's kind of it's implied. We hope you never have to use it, but it's good there. In case we were just yesterday at All American, which is a famous burger joint, and it was amazing how many people just recognized the jacket, came up, told us personal stories. Really, really incredible.
Well,
It's
if you're
getting
online
there.
at All American, you've choked once or twice. So I'm sure they're going to use it.
Yeah. So now you said corporations will come out like day visits.
Yeah. So we also have 8 tiny houses on the property where people can stay and
How many acres?
The ocean. The property that we have is just a few acres, and then we have a lease on the other side that's another few. But then we have trails that are, from San Francisco to Pacifica. You can ride for, hours, if not a whole day.
How far? I'm a New York guy. How far between San Francisco? What is that? Like 10 miles or?
Oh, gosh, I let's see, maybe 15 miles. Yeah,
50 miles to where?
Anyone ever go out with a horse and not come back just to take your horse back and forth?
Go for a long ride.
No, we're pretty strict about how things work out there. There's a guide that goes out with people, and then if you are a student and you're out riding with us, you can go through our horsemanship program, get certified, and be able to go out and ride. But those people have already spent the time and the hours to be certified, so they've built our trust.
Right.
You can't just come out there and rent a horse and leave without a guide. So
Yeah, it's not like moped.
Yeah, we kind of talked about, but what misconceptions do people have about their experience? What their experience might be like coming out to the ranch, to the stables? Sorry.
Yeah, ranch, stables, that's all the same. I think it's cooler to say ranch. So
Okay,
Sounds bigger.
I'm sticking with
yeah,
it.
it sounds bigger. Yeah. Misconceptions is, we're San Francisco, we're on the peninsula. So people are thinking like big city, but the little pocket that we're in, it seems like you're in a whole different world. It's and when you go on those trails, it's like you're in Ireland or something. It's beautiful. Nothing like what you would think when you go to San Francisco, big city.
Yeah. Is Bodega Bay nearby?
No, it's not. Bodega Bay is like you're
Tiburon? That's north.
way up. Yeah. Like if you guys look us up, the San Francisco Zoo is 3 minutes from us. We're next door to the Olympic Club, and we're 10 minutes from the heart of San Francisco, like driving. So like we are right there.
Yeah. When we get back on in California, you're going to have some audience, that we play to in LA and San Diego, a little bit further south. But what else I wanted to ask you about? What's the first shift you normally see in someone, a veteran, say, visiting? Where do you see it clicking?
Yeah. So there's, that it really just depends on like the thing that people are coming here to solve the problem. And most of the time, it's not horses that have problems, it's horses that have people problems. So like we have to address the problems that people have, and they really come out when they're around the horses. So you find somebody who's really guarded, really just like bottled up, and they come out there and they work with the horse, and the horse doesn't want to, they're reflective. So the horse wants nothing to do with this person who wants nothing to do with people. Right. So, you have to have them sitting there in a while, and you have to kind of explain, hey, the horse is doing this because you're bottled up. You got to relax a little bit. You got to breathe, and you work through that for a while, and you kind of let them work through it themselves. You don't really have to say much of anything. You just kind of explain what's going on with the horse, and hope that the person kind of can reflect on that themselves. And once they get it and they relax, and that horse walks up to them, like you could see like almost like the child in them at that
And
moment.
you can see how rewarding it is for you, just in you telling the story. Really great stuff. Zachary Layden, we thank you so much. We'd love to have you back in the arena sometime soon.
I would love to come, and if you guys want to come to my arena, we can also plan that. So
Let's do it.
Congratulations on the success.
Do you have any Clydesdales? I'm a little big. I don't know if their legs can
I have some pretty large horses, so
Okay.
we can make it happen.
You got it.
Well,
But
we
it's got to
thank
be
you
named
so
like
much.
Butterfly. It's got to be a calm horse. No, I'll be calm. I know how to act around horses now from all these horse people we've had on. I know what I'm doing.
Listen, give me an hour in my arena, and I'll teach you how to work around horses. It
I
doesn't
love
take
how
much.
you're incorporating that arena theme. It's
I
always
will
great.
be there. I need some lessons.
Well, we're going to go out for a quick break. We'll be back with Michael Fay. Thank you, Zachary
Thank you,
Layden.
Zach.
Thanks,
And we'll
Zach.
be back with more in the arena after this.
Protect your family. Buy LifeVac now.
Thank you, Dad.
That was us over 10 years ago.
Now, LifeVac is responsible for saving over 4,000 lives from choking.
In the time it takes you to pick up the phone and call, another life could be saved.
The LifeVac saved my life in 1 to 2 seconds.
Protecting families has always been our mission. I'm sure you love your family like I love my daughter. Do us all a favor and get your own LifeVac now.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-LifeVac. Order now.
Welcome back in the arena. I'm Rick Fatscher, have been, will continue to be, along with
He was
Pat
actually
O'Rourke.
rich until 8th grade. Then he decided to change
That's
his
a
name,
true story.
like Prince. He
True
went from
story.
Rich to Rick.
Yeah, even as maybe people think I'm outgoing or rambunctious or any number of adjectives, I was actually really shy. So if the teacher read my legal name, I was Richard for a while.
When were you shy?
I
You
was
were
just
never
gonna say
shy.
that,
No,
having
no,
known him.
I knew you in grammar school. You were not shy.
I was shy with the ladies and I was shy at school.
He wanted something that rhymed with slick Rick. So
Yeah.
he changed his name.
And Pat was
I was
there.
Fat Pat the Water Rat. Yes, that's
so
always a nice rhyme.
So awful. You just say that about yourself, my friend.
I have a lot of trauma. I should probably visit a horse.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So
Calm
we're
down.
joined tonight. We're missing, of course, Arthur Lee, CEO, inventor of LifeVac, and we wish him well. He's fine, by the way,
Yes.
just not with us.
Enjoying
in the
some
arena.
well-deserved time off. Well, he's never
Well-deserved.
off, but he's in a nicer place than this. He's doing some work down in Florida.
Definitely nice. We're actually from all born, raised Massapequa. The studios in Massapequa, where everything's Long Island based. In fact, LifeVac right here in Wisconsin, New York. But we welcome another neighbor that we grew up with and worked with, Michael Fay.
And he saw the light and moved to Massapequa.
I did. It drew me
Yeah.
in.
But
You
it's
know,
miserable this time of year.
we came in Massapequa, and I think everybody that I asked, how's Massapequa? They said, oh, we left, we came back. So there's definitely
Yeah.
a draw to Massapequa.
You know what the amazing part of Massapequa is? True. Is that like you wear a Massapequa sweatshirt or something, any airport, everyone knows how to pronounce it.
Yep.
You'll be in Detroit and they don't screw it up. They go, oh, Massapequa. I'm like, how do you, because all cold calls never know how to pronounce it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But everyone on any airport I've ever been in, when I'm wearing a Massapequa shirt, knows how
Yeah.
to say it.
Seinfeld, Kevin James.
The
I'm sure it
Baldwin,
did a lot. The
Brian
Baldwin brothers.
Kilmeade,
Jerry
Oh, yeah.
Seinfeld.
our
Jerry
favorite
Seinfeld.
son for the last.
What's that?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
Brian Kilmeade, yeah.
Yeah.
Jo-
Mr.
W.C.
Bevilacqua.
W.C. Fields lived here for a little while. Joe Namath stayed here for a couple summers when he was doing a Broadway play at Jones Beach. Remember? Damn Yankees.
Yes.
Who else? There's a
I wasn't there, by the way. I was too young.
The Stray Cats,
Yeah.
Rockabilly Band.
And then we'll save for a later episode the infamous people from Massapequa because
Yes,
we
we
have
got
the
that
Joy
too.
But a Few goes and we
Rex the Gilgo Killer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we
yes,
got
yes.
some good ones.
But Mike, it's been a while.
It
We worked
has.
together at the Shearing Plow.
Many years.
And you got hit. I don't want to
Tell them
jump
what
right into
Shearing
it.
Plow is.
Shearing Plow is a pharmaceutical conglomerate. It's
Sounds like
no
a
more.
Russian drug company.
Yeah.
Shearing Plow no more, bought by Merck, and that's a whole other story because you went on. I know it's been many years at J&J,
Yep.
but With Purpose Foundation came out of trying a lot. We compare it to Arthur Lee's story, turned tragedy into this invention that has now saved over 5,000 people worldwide. But you got hit with a horrible diagnosis, right?
I did. Yeah. And guys, thank you for the opportunity to share this foundation with your listeners. I truly appreciate it. My story is about proving what's possible when life throws you its hardest punch and you choose to stand back up. This past year or so, I faced the toughest battles of my life, to be honest with you. It's the first full year after I was being diagnosed with cancer that, as of today, still remains without a cure. I made myself one promise very early on that I wouldn't let this diagnosis define who I was as a person. I wanted to show my family, my kids, my wife, people around me that strength isn't necessarily about failing. It's about rising every single time that you do. It's about facing what's in front of you instead of running away from it.
Mm-hmm.
My day job is not this foundation. You guys keep talking about Shearing Plow and pharmaceuticals. I actually work for one of the largest healthcare organizations in the world, Johnson & Johnson.
J&J.
Yeah, good old J&J.
How many, by the way, don't hate to interrupt, but
No.
how many, what do they call it? Satellite or
Operating companies?
Operating companies.
God, at last count, I think it's well over 230 or 240.
Under J&J. Talk about conglomerate or monopoly.
Yeah.
Where's the headquarters in Jersey, right?
Yeah. East Brunswick or New Brunswick, New Jersey.
I just saw on Fox Nation, they just had a thing about the dynasties, and J&J was one of them. Very interesting.
Yeah, 125 plus years or something like that. Huge company. It's crazy, but
it didn't take long though from your diagnosis. It wasn't long because I remember hearing you break the news, and you almost immediately, started the idea. It might not have had the foundation all set up and running, but the concept was already like you were not going to be that. I mean, you didn't take long to get back up and start swinging.
No. Look, for me, a bump in the road, I always find it as temporary. I wanted to be a beacon of strength for myself, for my family, to show my kids like, hey, look, life always has obstacles. You're going to be faced with challenges every single day, but it's how you approach it and it's what you want to do with it. And I wanted to be a showcase of strength for, first and foremost, my wife and my kids and the people around me. And for anybody who's ever been told that they have those three words, you have cancer, I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel like a shot in the gut that I've never felt before. Life-changing experience. But as I was saying before, I don't want to let that define who I am. And I was in a funk for a few weeks after finding out. And it was, to the day, December 11th, not 2 years ago. I was up the road right on Broadway seeing my nurse practitioner, and she tells me, I do surgical sales. I work with breast cancer patients and reconstructive surgeons for my day job. And, I had gone in to get some credentialing, and I was there. It was like every other day. It was beautiful, sunny out. Thought I was going for a routine visit. And here I am staring at my nurse practitioner, and she looks at me, and I had an emergency call. So I'm 2 feet out the door, and she goes, Mike, where are you going? And I said, well, I got to go handle this. And she calls me back in, and she says, I forgot to feel your neck. And I stopped for a moment, and I said, Sabrina, really, I got to go. I have an emergency. And she goes, come here, I just forgot to feel your neck. And so she's sitting here grabbing my neck, almost to the point where it felt awkward. And I had this awkward gaze at her, and I looked at her and I said, Sabrina, did you call me back for a neck massage? What is this? And she looks me dead in the eye. And in that moment, I'll never forget it. I knew something was wrong. And
she knew, or was she looking for something?
She felt my neck, and that's how this all started. And my neck felt anatomically larger than it should have. So she told me, and I immediately thought, maybe, is it thyroid cancer? Is it something else? And she goes, no, it's something different. Talk to me like any clinician would do. And she says, how do you feel? Do you feel differently? And I says, well, no, Sabrina, you're freaking me out a little bit. What's going on? And she's any good clinician to ask questions. And she's telling me, does anything feel different about you? And I says, no. I mean, look, to be honest with you, my wife and I sit on the couch, we'll watch Netflix, and I'm usually like a night owl. I keep going. I'm convinced I have adult ADHD or something like that, but I'm just always on the move. and I would fall asleep in 10 minutes. And she goes, okay, anything
this
else?
was new? This was new?
Relatively new over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And when I tell you fall asleep, I'd be comatose in 10 minutes. We have a comfortable house and stuff, but I'm like, this is not normal.
Right.
And she goes, okay.
Do you think that though, or do you just like age or something? Or
that's what I said to her. I'm like, I want to come in. I have 3 kids. I'm in the OR at 6 o'clock in the morning a lot of days. I want to just run in and tell you, hey, doc, I'm tired. I think something's wrong. And she tells me, anything else? I said, well, look, I deal with breast cancer patients every day in my line of work. I know men can get breast cancer. So not to be graphic, but I'm sitting here in the shower. I'm feeling underneath my armpits. And it's as though something would tell me something was wrong. And I'm like, I almost wanted to feel something, but I didn't. Okay. And anything else? And this is going to sound crazy, but I have a small Maltese and it follows me around like a shadow in the house. And
the dogs know?
The dogs, we were talking about horses before and the intuition. And he's a little Maltese. He's my buddy when I'm up. But when we sit on that couch, he won't leave my wife. He just nestles in her. And for the prior 4 weeks, it was the weirdest thing. He would come up to me anytime I'd sit on the couch. I get choked up when I think about this. Puts his paws on my neck. And my wife would let him lick her in the face, which I think is disgusting.
Well,
but he would try to lick me in my neck.
Wow.
As though he was trying to tell me something. And she goes, well, fast forward to cut through the chase, a myriad of tests. She sent me for a stat ultrasound, biopsy of my lymphatic nodes underneath my armpits. 50 vials of blood later, I would learn that I was diagnosed with leukemia and lymphoma. 2 cancers that have a median diagnosis age of 67. Here I am at 45. So December 21st, literally 2 years ago, I'm sitting at Memorial Sloan Kettering. We walk in, place was beautiful. I'm just with my wife. Here we are. I didn't want a black cloud lingering over my head for the holidays. And, I got the news, you have cancer. And oh, by the way, there's no cure. So for anybody who ever is told those words, I go back immediately.
Someone's doing research, right?
Yeah. I think about my kids and it's those moments. And this is, my kids tease me sometimes, Dad, don't get choked up. But I said, look, this,
Are you
how
kidding?
can you
it's
not?
authentic. This is a real me. And, I was in a funk and the outpouring of support that I had, and you talk about Massapequa, the people, hey, what can we do? We want to help. And it was telling the same story over and over and over again. And a buddy of mine wanted to do a GoFundMe for me. And I said, look, this is not me. I'm blessed in a lot of ways. I have a wonderful support system, great wife, family. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And it got annoying after a while telling the same story. So I decided to do one for myself. And as we get to the foundation, which is the purpose of this, I set a goal to raise $20,000 over 6 months. And I wanted to donate it to the foundation that I would ultimately settle my care with. And at the time, I didn't know whether it was going to be Sloan, Cornell, or the other institutions that looked at me. And I used it as a platform to tell my story. And it was great because I didn't have to keep telling myself. And the outpouring of support that I had, that goal of $20,000 in 6 months turned into $48,000 in just under a month.
Wow.
And so I knew I could do more. And I decided to talk to somebody locally who's an attorney. And I said, hey, if I wanted to do a not-for-profit, what's involved? What can we do to keep this thing going? And he goes, well, you got to come up with a name. You got to think of a mission and put together a board of directors and all this other stuff. And I said, okay, that's great. So that's what we did. And the With Purpose Foundation was born April of 2024, became a 501c3 not-for-profit, fully certified. And it became another full-time job that I'm not paid for, being a not-for-profit. And it's
even getting registered as 501c3 is like a full-time job.
You're
need
not
like
kidding.
An attorney. You need a boy or girl on the phone with the state constantly. It's tough. It's really hard. But
there's a lot that's involved with it. But it was an undertaking that I looked at. And what was really crazy, when we looked at the name, I've coached teams before with my kids, and I always tell people to do things with purpose, because when you do something with purpose, you do it with determination. And when your activities have a purpose, you have a specific aim or an intention in mind. Mm-hmm. And I love the power in that name. And we found it was ready to go. So we secured the website, we secured the foundation, got the certification, and off we went. And then we had to define what the mission was for all. You talk about how hard it is with setting up a 501c3. Mm-hmm. You have to define what the foundation is. And it's got a primary mission to inspire random acts of kindness in local communities. We encourage other people to do the same through a simple word, pay it forward. And at the time when I was setting this up, it brought me back to 2 months after 9/11 when the towers fell. And a lot of what I'm dealing with, I've learned folks at 9/11 and those that are affected down there, these cancers are being tied to that because of whatever the toxins were in the air and whatnot. And I was so young when I was diagnosed, they were trying to put 2 and 2 together. And I had spent a little bit of time down there volunteering. And I'll never forget.
Is there a tie-in?
What's that?
Is there a tie-in to Ground Zero?
There is. Yeah, I was volunteering some time down there, collecting waters and handing out supplies and stuff, doing what I can. I had worked in the city a short time before that, came out in the World Trade Towers, and the rest is history. I mean, it impacted everybody in the area.
Right.
But it brought me to December, 2 months thereafter, which really, 25 years ago, and here I am talking about this today. I was online at a Starbucks, and I pulled up to the drive-through window on Deer Park Avenue, and I had $10, of the half-filled drink that they overcharge you for, and I asked her for a receipt and my stuff. She hands me that. She hands me a napkin, and on the napkin were written 3 words, pay it forward. And I looked at her and I said, well, I'm confused. What is this? She goes, oh, the car in front of you bought your stuff. And I was like, wait, huh? Did I know him? Maybe it was you, Rick. Maybe it was you, Pat.
Impact.
No, complete and total stranger. And I remember how it made me feel that somebody completely unknowing of who was behind them did something good for somebody else. And that is what really derived and made the mission of the With Purpose Foundation. And what I've learned, my cancers, fast forward 2 years, they started treating me in August. They added some new treatments in December. I'll be getting treated probably for much of 2026. But the power of doing something good for somebody else has a direct impact on somebody's immunity. And what's even more powerful than that is if I do an act of kindness for Ryan, who's not on TV right now, if you guys all see this, your immunity actually improves better than mine. So what a powerful concept on something so simple that do something good for somebody else. Tell them to pay it forward when they ask why you did it. It doesn't have to be something monetary. And look, in the interest of time and for you guys here.
Yeah, we got plenty of time, man.
Oh, it's, I could talk, Rick, we're sales. So I have my little crib note here. So I try to stay on.
No one, by the way, no one's telling you the doctor has to leave. We don't have to leave.
No,
we have a patient.
Good. Yeah. Well, it's one of those things when you see the power and the impact that I'm not going to minimize how someone's going to feel when they're told you have cancer. And nonetheless that, oh, by the way, there's no cure for this right now. It's a heavy load to be told. Excuse me a sec. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But the power that we've done with the foundation, just locally in this community, it has evolved into this small little snowball that started rolling down a hill that going through a list of things that we have accomplished and done and helped and people that we've impacted through something so simple that people lose sight of every single day. The world around us is so crazy with just the day-to-day nuances that you forget about the simple things in life. Just be a good person, do something good for somebody else. But selfishly for me, it is improving my immunity through what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis for other people. So
win-win. Great story.
It really is. So
yeah,
I would have named it With Thankfulness Foundation. So you could call it WTF.
There you go.
Love it. No, this is so inspiring. It really is. I want to know how to get involved. And Massapequa, you probably found out there, as much as people knock them, I was a bartender there for 25 years, and there's no one more generous than the people of Massapequa. It's unbelievable. I was on a foundation for 20 years called the Massapequa Community Fund, and we help kids with scholarships, but we also, whenever we heard a hard luck story, a sick parent or the breadwinner, we helped them out financially. And we did that for, Rick was involved. He came to a couple of the events, and we did it for like 25 years. We all sort of aged out, but we were looking for the young kids to take it over. There's no, it's just people our age, but the numbers were staggering, how much money we raised and how generous people were in the town of Massapequa. But I think that's Long Island in general. I think New Yorkers get a hard knock on how, tough they are, but
well, it's
very generous.
You talk about Massapequa specifically. We did, it's funny. We do all these crazy events.
Hey, Mike, hold that thought. We're going to go off for a quick break. We're going to be back with more. Mike Fay with Purpose Foundation. We'll be back with more in the arena after this.
She started to choke on a piece of candy.
She wasn't breathing.
Then Ray reached for the LifeVac, and it saved her.
She could have easily died that day. a LifeVac saved her life. What I would say is don't need a LifeVac and not have it. Have a LifeVac and hopefully never need it.
Recently, the American Red Cross has added anti-choking devices as an option when standard protocol fails or is not feasible.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
We're back in the arena with Mike Fay with Purpose Foundation. So inspiring. And, you know, a couple of times, as anyone could expect, the emotions well up. And I mean, when I hear the story, when I see the posts, Mike, and I've heard you speak about that before, and it really, you know, struck a chord with the benefit to the immunity of not only the person that's doing the act, but people that witness it.
Sure.
And the pay it forward, you said so simple.
Yeah.
We have to see more of it.
Yeah. I agree. It's, you know, it's people lose sight of that. And, you know, Patrick, you were talking about something about the power of Massapequa as a whole. Most recently, yeah, I go back to a situation, you know, every kid, we're very fortunate in the area that we live. And every school year, my kids get backpacks. And I'll never forget, we had like 6 backpacks sitting on my doorstep. And I looked at my wife and I says, Tara, what, we have 3 kids, right? Are there 3 that I don't know about? Oh, you know, I figured they could choose which backpack they want, and then we'll return the other ones. And so I go up into the attic and I take a look to get some things down, and I notice a pile of other backpacks that are sitting there. And I go, okay, there's 9 backpacks up here. They're never being used for the trips. Is there something that we could do with these? So I went, you guys are in Massapequa, so you know Birch Lane and Lockhart Elementary. This is 2 years ago. I go up to them and I say, hey, look, there's probably a lot of kids out here that could benefit from this. What can we do? Let's do a backpack drive and see how it goes. So both elementary schools agreed to do it. Well, you fast forward and you talk about the power of a community. Just this past year, we launched it for its 2nd year, called the Give Back Backpack Drive. Superintendent of the district and every school in Massapequa got behind it. Not only did we blow it out, we raised over 450 backpacks, almost $14,000 in supplies, donated it to the Yes Community Center to help many other kids who are less fortunate that just don't have the basic essentials for school.
We used to do a lot of work with the Yes Community Center. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the president retired. Her name is what's her I forget her name.
Adrian Belfi is now the executive
but
director.
it's right over here on
Yeah, they're right
good
behind
people.
us over there.
Then you're with the right people. That's
Yeah.
But I have probably half those backpacks. I know how many backpacks I've thrown away over the years.
Yeah.
It's hurting my heart hearing this story. And I'm always saying to my wife, because I was raised poor. And
Right.
It kills me to throw anything out. She
Right,
thinks
right.
I'm a hoarder. And I'm, you know, baseball backpacks. You know, I have a shed full of backpacks. So let me know when that's going on next year. We'll
Come
get
in my
to you.
garage, you'll
Yeah.
tell me I'm a hoarder too.
Yeah.
How else can people not from Massapequa that might be watching get in touch and help out?
Well, we're so one-man show right now, so social media is not one of my strong suits, but
Oh, you're doing pretty good.
Well, I did the website, so they can go to withpurposefoundation.org on there.
Mhm.
We've got the Instagram page set up where they can see a lot of the great things that we've done. They can support by going directly to the website, Venmo, Zelle. Everything is tax deductible because it's a 501c3 not-for-profit. But the more support that we get, the better things that we can do. And if you go to the Instagram page, you'll see a lot of the really cool, I call them racks, the random acts of kindness events that we've done. Most recently, just this Christmas. And we supported 8 families through Kids Need More, and we sponsored a cheer bus, and we brought smiles and joy to kids' faces who literally have nothing. And we finished our day at a shelter locally and helped 32 homeless kids, and puts things into perspective when you see how others are out there and what they need that we all take for granted.
Yeah.
So
We had Samantha Morales of Branches, Long Island.
Yeah.
Sounds very similar. Her busy season is the holidays.
Right.
There's so much of a need.
Yeah. No, there is. And there's not really anything that we can't do per se. If it's to help somebody else, we've done stuff from surprise families that couldn't get medical supplies. And we had a medical device company here locally donate and help with supplies for a family in Long Island City. We surprised another family in Merrick with a beach-ready wheelchair for a non-ambulatory child, and his love for the beach. And we just made their life easier by providing this beach-ready wheelchair through the foundation. And we've supported so many, so it's great.
How has J&J responded? I imagine that they're Very
J&J
supportive.
has been great. They have a matching gift portal, match employees 2 for 1, and we're now officially a part of their corporate matching gifts program, which is pretty
Right.
awesome.
Have you made them rethink that strategy?
Well, not yet, because we'll see how it goes. That's the next step this year, is how we get better visibility to corporate entities, realizing that really could help to fuel what we can do as a foundation, getting tied into these organizations. And Johnson & Johnson, I've had the opportunity to be a keynote speaker at 3 different national events for them in the last year and a half, and they're really getting behind it. So it's pretty humbling to see.
Yeah, I'm really blown away how you've taken this. It took Arthur about I don't know 15 or so years from his tragedy to invent LifeVac, which is back in 2012. And I think in the early 2000s he had a tragedy, maybe been in the 90s, but it's miraculous, really, what you've done in such a short period of time.
You know what? It's the motivation is my family, to be honest.
I was going to ask you about how are the kids?
They're good. They know what's
Just got
going
a picture
on
up of the beautiful family.
Oh, I didn't see.
That was
so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there they are. This is actually coming out on Sunday. So for anybody who has Newsday,
peek.
It's a little
Sneak
sneak
peek.
peek.
I will buy it this Sunday. I've canceled it twice, but for stuff like this, I'll buy it.
They just pulled me into a subscription for 25 cents so I could read it online. I didn't even know it was there. But Sunday, they are recognizing the foundation as a local hometown hero for some of the efforts we've done. So you'll see the full story in Sundays. It's like my little pitch for Newsday, I guess, right?
I've seen this picture recently. Is that Saladino?
That is. Yeah, that was actually at Birch Lane.
Yeah, they have a new playground there.
Yeah, they did.
You guys,
Is that Gary Baldinger?
No, kind of looks like him though, right?
Yeah.
No,
It's
that's
to the left.
That's Dr. Brennan, superintendent of schools, the entire board of ed. That's when we showcased what we did with that was Backpack Drive. We spelled out Massapequa on Birch Lane's blacktop. This is a pretty cool one. This we just did. This was part of the holiday cheer bus. Wonderful family that we surprised that needed some help and some extra joy around the holidays. And we surprised them and fulfilled their wish lists with all the gifts that they needed.
Yeah, you touched on some of your goals, from a corporate side, but what are some of the things that will bring you joy in 2026?
Seeing where this continues to go. I'm beating my cancer, which is a humbling moment when I know that I'm being treated, but my numbers are at the lowest point they've been since I started. So
good to hear it. Nice.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing is working. I know it's not curable. Everything I'm doing is to help raise awareness, raise some funds to hopefully help find and fund a cure for these.
Yeah, the research is jumping in leaps and bounds. The
It
T
is.
cell transplants, and
100%.
you do it more than once now. So
well, it's funny.
we're gonna help.
What companies are doing the research?
Well, I'm being treated at Cornell, Dr. Allen, and through his PA, Melissa. They've got all these big institutions. They have tons of research that are there. It's funny, you talk about time and the evolution of medicine. 2010, people were diagnosed at 67 with CLL. They were talking with hospice. Fast forward, this product called Brukinsa came out, which is a BK blocker. And that's what they started me on. Not to get all clinical, but it basically builds a wall between the bad cells and the good cells and says, hey, stop making the good cells bad. So they blocked it, and that's what they started me on.
It's amazing even how they figured that out. They figured out the receptors are sending signals to attack the other cells. And now they have a thing that can block them off. It's amazing.
Yeah. So it gets in the way of the bad cells and basically keeps the good cells good. I'm immunocompromised. And then they threw in some other stuff called venetoclax, which is killing off the cancer. So it's a very targeted approach. I know probably around the summertime, I'm going to need some infusions. It's a progressive, targeted therapeutic approach that they'll throw it far into remission that I'll look cancer-free under a microscope. It's going to sit dormant. They know it's going to come back, but
18 to 2 years, 18 months to 2 years, they usually tell you, or is it?
They think there's a lot of variations to it because I have these mutated genes that make it play a little faster in me than others. I'll probably sit in remission for 5-7 years or so.
Perfect.
Yeah. Nice. And then it'll come back and then we do it again. And maybe at that point, we'll have a cure for it.
Yeah.
And with purpose, we'll be with you guys talking about, hey, remember 7 years ago when we sat and talked? Guess what? We found a cure.
Well, you die of old age. They just keep getting it every 5 or 7 years.
Very true.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We're talking to Michael Fay of the With Purpose Foundation. So inspirational.
Thank you.
To see what you're doing with this.
You do a lot of stuff with the Yes Community Counseling, you were saying. And they have their own, they have a food kitchen too. They have a pantry. They were always accepting food for homeless families. We were talking about that, like Massapequa too. You think we're a pretty affluent town. Everyone, you think there's a lot of families in need.
Yeah.
Even in this area.
So we learn from branches, right?
Yep.
We saw that just in December when we did this cheer bus.
Yeah.
We went locally, and the families that needed help, and we were able to help. And you realize, wow, they're right in our backyard. So,
yeah.
And you talk about Yes Community Center. May 20, just last year, we took over the space for United Way at Commerce Plaza. So now our message about being kind and paying it forward hits over 5,500 students every year through their program that they have.
That's awesome. Yeah. And listen, we're going to bring Mr. 3000 after the break, but
Great.
Mike Fay, stick around, please. And I want to introduce you to Mr. 3000.
Awesome.
Great
Ray
stuff,
Priebe,
Mike.
after this.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be right back.
Ben Carson here with a potentially life-saving message. I may be a retired neurosurgeon, but trying to help save lives is something I'll never stop doing. Every year, this world loses around 5,000 lives that could have been saved from choking accidents. That's why I've partnered with LifeVac, a company based right here in the USA. It's simple to use, can be used on adults and children, plus it's guaranteed for life. Most importantly, if you ever have to use it in an emergency, they replace it for free. Join me on my mission to ensure every home, business, restaurant, and school in this country has a LifeVac. Go to the lifevac.net and order your very own life-saving device today. Thank you.
Author's new best friend, the brain surgeon.
Dr. Ben Carson, we just heard from. We're back in the arena. My name is Rick Fatscher again, Pat O'Rourke, and I'm joined by Michael Fay of the With Purpose Foundation. And we've been listening to this, inspirational story and what you're doing. And it reminds me of Mr. 3000, Ray Priebe. And each week we check in with Mr. Ray Priebe. We call him Mr. 3000, and he joins us from Cape Coral, Florida. Ooh, there he is.
Hey, good evening, LifeVackers. How we doing today?
Doing great, Ray. And I learned from our colleagues, from our production staff, that you refuse to come on if that music doesn't play.
That is true fact. That my music has to play. That is now my music.
Yeah, and the crowd going crazy. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, it's good to see you this evening.
I know it's been a while. It feels like it's been forever since we've been on to share these great numbers and everything, and to hear these great stories. I mean, what a fantastic show tonight with it's just unbelievable. Some of the guests that I get to follow is it's really just unbelievable. I need to start coming on in the beginning of the show because it's hard to follow up some of these acts. It's tough.
It's Roadshow and Rick booking it.
Right. So, but we do have some great numbers tonight. And before we get started, I'm gonna have. I know Pat's a big number guy. Pat, how many lives did we save today?
I would
say today.
7 today, and my guess is 5,219.
You know that 7 today?
I don't know.
His guess is 7. He said it with such a conviction that I think that he knew.
Such conviction, and he was so close. That's the great part. But of course, he's a little shy.
Wow.
We saved 8 people today.
It's so fun.
And I'll let Bobby run that sign for us.
Yeah. 12.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1. 5,228 lives, of which 3,167 of those were children.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean,
you'd have guessed.
I wish. That's the only thing I'm good at. I'll never win your money.
Hey guys, Ray.
Just awesome numbers. I mean, and here we are. We're only 443 days from number 3,000. So again, 443 days, and we have saved 2,228 lives, reported lives.
Wow. Yeah, and we learn that each and every day early. We talked about stopping by a local restaurant that people in the Northeast all know about, All American, and people come up and say, "Hey, I used it, saved myself. Did you report it? No. Did we report it? No." And Ryan Roadshow Warner, who's here, will contest that it happens all the time when he's at Costco's. Every visit encountered people that have used it but don't share it.
So we
need to share that information.
We had a get together at my house on Christmas Eve, big Italian family. And they were asking about LifeVac, and I pulled it out and showed them how it worked. And they were like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." And then, so the next week we get together for New Year's Eve, a week later. And two of my sister-in-laws like, we were talking to friends about it, and they both had saves with it. And I'm like, did they report the saves? No.
No, of course not.
One a child, one a senior citizen.
Wow.
Yep. So,
I mean, if you really think about it, there's got to be at least 1,000 unreported saves.
I think that's lowballing it. I think it's more.
And that's probably lowballing. So we're probably well over the 6,000. Could be even close to the 7,000 mark by now with as many as we hear that are unreported. But speaking of a reported save, I have a great one that Donna
Save of the week.
The highlight of the week: an 89-year-old man from Naples, Florida, here in my backyard, choked on a steak yesterday. My parents and I live in the same home. My mother came to my side of the house and was yelling that father was choking. I ran to him and immediately got my life back. His face and hands already started turning blue. I knew time was of the essence. My mom called 911 and I started to Heimlich. I used the LifeVac device twice and the steak was dislodged and he regained his color back. Our great first responders arrived and took his vitals. I purchased the LifeVac as a precautionary measure to have just in case my family or household ever needed it. I am thankful for LifeVac. God bless that my father is okay. I mean, 89 years old, that could have been it. And that's all it takes is one small piece of food.
Yeah.
And without that device, it would have been horrific for that family.
Yeah, and who knows how long he has on this planet, but that's not the final chapter.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
And he's still
absolutely not.
That's it. I don't have teeth now.
Hey, Ray, for those that, it's been 2 weeks. For those that aren't aware of why we call you Mr. 3000, why don't you tell your story real quick?
So I'm here in Cape Coral, Florida, and I was driving home from a birthday party, and my daughter, of course, with her little treat birthday bag in the back seat, got a piece of candy out, started to eat the candy, and began to choke. Total obstruction while we were driving home. So, of course, worst case scenario. We're driving, we have to immediately pull over. I run around the car, I pull her out, I try back close. My daughter was 4 at the time, and she's a tiny 4-year-old. I mean, she's 26 pounds. Princess Maya. She's my little princess, and she is tiny, 26 pounds. So obviously the Heimlich's not going to work. I attempted back low after back low after back low, and it just wouldn't work. My wife unpacked the LifeVac. I laid her in the grass, push, pull, boom. It worked. First try.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank God. And you had it.
Now I'm here every week pushing LifeVac because I know it works.
And not only did he have it in the car, he said in the news report, people don't stop or people don't care, something that, but to his surprise and to our surprise and to our, absolute glee, 2 other motorists stopped by with their own LifeVacs to try to help out.
Yeah, in today's world, there's very few people that are willing to stop and help anybody. So the fact that not only did I have one person stop, I had 2 people stop, and they both had a LifeVac, which was absolutely amazing. So
we're getting there.
Definitely had all the bases covered.
That means if you have a LifeVac, you're a good person.
That's right.
It's synonymous.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And we've had over 200 saves since November 8th. When was 5,000? So in 2 months to the day, over 200 saves.
Yeah,
incredible.
It was a pickle.
And
That's going to be another catchphrase, but Ray has a great catchphrase.
Yes.
I have a great catchphrase. Speaking of catchphrases, LifeVac. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The life you save could be your own, could be a stranger, could be a family member. Who knows? Get a LifeVac, save a life. Good night and God bless.
Go get him, Ray. God bless. Mr. 3000, Ray Priebe, Cape Coral, Florida, checking in as always, giving us the stats. It's just amazing that it keeps piling up. And it never ceases to amaze me just talking about how many unreported saves there are.
Yeah. Yeah. Even my own family, I didn't, they didn't even really know what it was. They were like, what's this LifeVac thing you do? I show it to them, and a week later, two out of the 3 of them are like, yeah, I told this story to someone else, and they had a save.
It's interesting. He says about the car. I have one in my car. I have one in my wife's car, and we have one in each closet in the kitchen. My kids know where it is, and it's, to his point, hope you never need to use it, or we need to use it, but it's there if you need it. So
absolutely,
it's incredible.
Peace of mind, very inexpensive peace of mind. So that's going to be it. I mean,
Keep
I want
going.
to thank everybody. That's going to do it for this episode of In the Arena. Our thanks to Zachary Layden of Ocean View Stables and Michael Fay of the With Purpose Foundation.
Slow down the scroll.
I blew it. Special thank you to our sponsor, LifeVac, a simple, non-invasive device that's helping save lives when every second counts. For Pat O'Rourke, I'm Rick Fatscher. We want to thank Michael Fay and Zachary Layden. Keep showing up. Keep leaning in. And we'll see you next time in the arena. Take it away, Mike Lowe.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. LifeVac and live.